Okay, I've been referring to this Prudential insurance study. Actually, they're investment advisors, so they're trying to figure out how people get money and what they do with it, things like that. Well, this is all on how people are getting extra money from the internet. And it's really not by starting businesses on the internet, but just getting jobs on the internet that they could do at home. It's called the gig economy. So the traditional job market is shrinking, and what's growing now is this non-traditional job market. We used to call it freelancers. Now it's the gig economy. It's all kind of names for the same thing we always had at some point. But because of technology and a whole bunch of other reasons, this is now growing. And it's growing to the point where now 34% of workers are getting money this way, not in traditional jobs. They estimate 150 million people are getting money this way. 150 million, man. That's amazing. And by 2020, it's going to grow from 34% to almost 43%. So that's growth. There's no other job that's going to grow that much in a few years. And that's why people have to know about this. And what's interesting to me is that it's all ages are doing it. It's just not young computer geeks or whatever. No, it's people, doing counseling on the internet, or being coaches, athletic coaches, but on the internet, piano teachers, all kinds of stuff, pet walkers, dog sitters, whatever you can think. And the computer has taken the complexity out of this. So it's made it easy. The same way that I could rent my apartment in Washington, D.C. on Airbnb, and they handle all the problems. And I get paid. It's guaranteed. But here are the reasons why people are turning to this. And this may fit some of you people there too. So this is how people are using this new gig economy. People are working part-time, full-time, or whatever. Like the average person now is making like $36,000 a year, but only working like 20 to 35 hours a week. So it's not full-time jobs for a lot of people. Do make it full-time jobs, and some work 60 hours, 70 hours a week. But here are the reasons, and this is important. Okay, people need extra money to make ends meet. Okay, that's one of the big reasons people are turning to this. So if you're looking for extra money to make ends meet, there's 150 million people that are using this to do just that. Or here, people that wanted more discretionary income. And so you're making ends meet, man, but you want to go out to dinner more often. You want to go to more ball games or theater stuff. You want extra discretionary income. That's money that you don't need to survive, just to have fun with. Okay. Or here's the third reason. Wanted more time for other things that are more important to me. So they're getting the extra money really to buy time somehow. Not sure how, but money buys you time, right? Because you don't have to pay for stuff that you do waste your time. Then you can hire somebody to clean your house, and then you have that extra time to do something, right? So they're using it that way, or they're using it to pursue their passion. Okay, so they're getting that, so they're earning money, earning income, part-time or whatever, and getting an extra $35,000 so they can pursue their passion. So maybe that's you. Okay, or here's the other thing that I think is really interesting and why people hate their jobs. They wanted more freedom from bureaucracy and red tape. Man, don't you feel that everybody hates their job because of all that bullshit they got to put up with, and being professional. Well, see, what's neat about the gig economy, your boss isn't people. There's no politics involved. It's all done by a robot. They don't care what to do, say, or wear, and all that kind of stuff. So it's really a bunch of freedom in there too. And you don't have to put up with those annoying meetings and all that nonsense. So that's the reasons. So this is a growth area. I'm trying to teach people about this and other government money programs to help you pay for expenses, or even train for better jobs. See, like you can get money to train for a better job from the government, and then use the gig economy to get extra income while you're getting that extra skill, so you can make $100,000 a year or whatever. So that's the kind of thing. And I do that at Lesko Help. And if you go to www.free.lesko.com, I have a free report on the gig economy, which is the biggest report I think I've ever seen that shows you all the opportunities, shows you about this study. It shows you how to take a free class on how to use these gig economy opportunities. And people who just take that course and just a few days, they're able to start making at least the minimum is like $1,800 a month, you know. And then as you learn it, you can make more. People make 100,000. I was in a taxi cab yesterday. Well, I'm not. It was in the gig economy car, a VO, I think it's called. It's sort of like an Uber thing. And the guy driving said he works for the government, helping people who have troubles. They're either homeless or they have mental problems or whatever. One of his, and he's doing this part time to make extra money, on the gig economy. But one of his clients that he's a professional with is homeless, got money to buy a car, somehow saved the money, bought a car, and drives in the gig economy and made $100,000 driving in the gig economy. She didn't even have a home. And she's making $100,000 driving in the gig economy. So let me help you find stuff like that. See, in Lesko Help, whatever you have, just ask me, and I show you a website that just gives you money. None of the websites I give you will ask you for money. That's what Google does. Show you websites that want your money. I show you websites that give you money. Nah, what could be better than that? Well, here's an article I want to share with you because most of all, it's lots of pictures. It shows you what's happening in the economy, the new stuff that's going on. That's very important. I mean, like any super duper change in our economy, it starts with a flash, like the iPhone or whatever, or the internet, and it waddles around for a bunch of years until it really takes off and changes us and the way we live. And this is what's happening, I think, to the gig economy and the sharing economy and things like that. More and more people are making income that way. It makes a whole lot of sense. And because the existing system isn't really satisfying a lot of our needs. So we're smart animals, we find other ways to survive. And if you want to put your head in the sand and pretend it's not here, that's fine, because it'll be here bigger and bigger every year. And then you'll have to deal with it. And actually, I think that opportunities come when you're in the beginning, because then it's not, you don't need credentials or anything. When something gets more ubiquitous, then you need a PhD in it to even get entry. In the beginning of something, you need nothing because there's no rules. And that's what's cool about this. I mean, in the gig economy and all this kinds of stuff, I mean, now about almost 33, 35% of us work in there. In about 2 years, it's going to be like 45%, in that. And here's the sharing economy. See, this is another thing and the internet is making this possible. Let me, and bear with me, I'm reading this, and you want to get it here. Business and the number 2 community.com is where this is at. And if you just Google leveraging the sharing economy, let me read you this because it's very important. I think the U.S. economy is booming, with unemployment at its lowest in 50 years. Lowest in 50 years. Nominal wage growth is the highest in the decade, and the economy continues to grow. So wages are higher than ever, but that's debatable now. But it's growing. Okay, so all this is growing, but the cost of living is increasing a hell of a lot faster than wages. Wages are growing about 0.5%, and the cost of living just in the last 3 years grew 14%. 14% cost of living growth in the last 4 years, so that's going bananas compared to wage growth. So this is causing Americans to struggle to maintain and afford a good middle-class lifestyle. Renters in more than 10 states spend more than half their income on the basic necessities, and luxuries are disappearing as of 2018, okay? And we sort of see that. You feel it, right? Okay, 2 out of every 3 Americans can't afford a summer vacation. 2 out of 3, okay, can't afford a summer vacation. In all, 58% of Americans have less than $1,000 of savings. 50% don't have $1,000 of savings. No wonder they can't take a vacation, because that costs $2,000. Let's see, and 32% have no savings at all. So 30%, a third of us have no savings at all, and almost 2/3 of us have less than $1,000. Okay, so that's it. Among American adults, general happiness has been going down since the 1990s, and the lack of money is a very large cause of it. So our happiness, the general happiness of us living in America has been going down, look at 30 years now, okay? Money influences happiness by fulfilling needs and desires, reducing stress when facing hardships with drugs and other chemicals. Emotional well-being increases as salaries rise. So this is that we feel better as our salaries rise. And self-reflection becomes more and more positive with higher income. So you're making higher money, that means you're reflecting on your life and you're more satisfied with it. With stagnant wages and rising costs of living, the key to happiness isn't having money, but how we spend the money we have on things that make us happy. So now this is the key to the sharing economy. See, okay, so we don't have enough money to buy a Lexus or a Tesla or whatever it is, or go on a big vacation. But the sharing economy allows to substitute for a lot of this to make us feel better. We look at things like, okay, here, let me read a little bit more. The solution to many of these problems, to make these luxuries more affordable, is by using the sharing economy, okay? In 2021, okay, that's in a year or so, 86 million Americans will be using the sharing economy, and buying and owning are becoming things of the past, right? We're gonna share things more and not do things. Like I live downtown now. I get rid of cars and everything because I can rent a car for $10 when I need it, and that's a hell of a lot cheaper, and I still have a car to get where I wanna go when I go. Sharing rather than owning is better in several ways, okay? It's an on-demand access. So you're sharing something, it's on demand. No burdens come with ownership. I don't have insurance, all this kind of stuff. And also no upkeep. I don't have to wash the car or do anything. It's better for the environment. And as seen by 3 out of 4 people, it's more sustainable than ownership. So sustainability, we talk a lot about that. Is there a long way to do this? It is also a great way to start a business. See, you could take the stuff you have and make money at it. So sharing economy is a way to start a business using what you already have and monetize it to help pay for things like extra room in your house or your car or even a swimming pool. So you could use these things now to make money. So we're all capitalists now. If you have some stuff or junk or whatever, now you're a capitalist and you can make money out of it. That's what capitalists do. They take their money and make more money with it. Okay. Now you have stuff, and you can make money with this stuff, and that's it. Find out the pros and cons. Okay, now here's the fun part of what this article has is about the sharing economy, and he does it in pictures. How you can have a great lifestyle without owning stuff. You don't have to own stuff. Unemployment is its lowest in 50 years. Nominal wage growth is the highest in a decade, and the economy continues to grow. But look at this over here on the right-hand side. But cost of living has risen 14% in 3 years. So you're getting further and further behind. Okay, now here, Americans struggle to afford a great lifestyle. The cost of living in 5 cities rose 30% in 1 year. Cost of living in 5 cities rose 30% in 1 year. So if you're in one of those cities and your cost of living already went up 30%, nobody's wages went up 30% unless they were shoplifting, I guess, or something. So here's the real important thing. What happened to real wages? 1964. 1964. That's before a lot of you people watching this were ever born. That's 20 years after I was born. And I'm old as dirt. So in 1964, the real wages, that's in current dollars, putting the wages in $10, people were making $20 an hour in 1964. Wow, look at how that has grown. 64, 74, 84, 94, 104, 114, 50 years later, what has happened to salaries? Went up $2. Wow. Wow. The economy is growing like crazy, right? And the average salary is not. You look at GDP, what is that? Okay, 2 out of 3 Americans can't afford a summer vacation. Luxury lifestyles are disappearing. 58% of Americans have less than $1,000 in saving. 32% have no savings at all. But here, why is that happening? Because wages have gone nowhere in 50 years. 50 years, people. And so that's why there's a new way of getting the experience that makes you feel better in life. And that's what this money can buy happiness, okay? Fulfilling needs and desires and reducing stress when facing hardships. That's what money does for people, okay? Emotional well-being increases as your salary rises. So you become, I guess, emotionally more satisfied. Self-reflections become more positive with higher income. So as you get higher income, you think about your past or your life. Oh, is this shit or whatever, you know? Oh, no, not so bad. I went from here to there. If anybody can't remember their life, yeah, oh, well, 50 years ago, I was making only $2 less. So in 50 years, no wonder you feel lousy, okay? With stagnant wages and rising cost of living, the key to happiness isn't just having money, but how we spend it, okay? How to buy happiness, the wandering mind, okay? The mind. On average, the human mind wanders about 40% of the time, 47%. So half the time we spend, our mind is just daydreaming, right? Wandering, okay? This and this. But anticipation and good memories give the mind a happier alternative. Okay, if our mind wanders half of our time, our mind is wandering and getting in trouble. I know mine does. Man, if I don't have something important I feel to do, my mind will just start digging at their grave, you know. That's why I stay so busy to get that sucker out of the grave. But what makes you feel good is the anticipation of something good happening or the past memory of something you enjoyed doing. Okay. Anticipation felt happier when, okay, participants, I'm sorry, not anticipation. Here's a study that shows people in the study, they felt happier when they were anticipating a planned experience. Oh, I'm going to go to Disneyland or whatever. And see, that kind of thing made us feel happy. Participating in an experience made us feel happier. And recalling memories of that experience made us happier. So these experiences are what keeps us happy in life, is what this is saying. And this is all from data and research and things. And here's a quote from Eleanor Roosevelt. You guys aren't remember it. I don't either. I was alive when she was, maybe, I don't know how long she lived, but so I was born in 1943. So her husband was, I guess, still president then. The purpose of life is, here's her quote. She was a very smart lady. The purpose of life is to live it, to taste experience to the utmost, to reach out eagerly and without fear and for newer and richer experience. I mean, that's what I feel. I'm always trying to find something new, something different or whatever. I mean, otherwise you get stuck. And life is a train that's going through, man. Whether you get on it or not, it's still going. Yeah. Okay. For a sense of self, participants were more likely to mention experiences when telling their life story. So they tell their life, oh, so-and-so, or I went to the moon, and that was great. Yeah. So experiences are what we like to expressing about ourselves. Or feel experiences reflected their identity and values. Or I'm sorry, feeling experiences. Feel experiences reflected their identity and values. Okay, so right, if they feel so excited about going on the moon, then that shows you where their values are. And that's an important thing, right? And connect with others when hearing about their experiences. So that's the way we connect with other people. We tell each other about our experiences and whatever. Okay, so a better balance in life. I think this is what we're after. Most people hate hearing others talk about their stuff, right? So this is what, see, we all want to buy more stuff. Oh, I need a bigger house. I need a bigger car and everything. But other people hate hearing about that shit, you know? But experiences are less likely to leave you feeling like you don't measure up. So you don't have a bigger, somebody always going to have a bigger house. So that's a never ending, you know, whatever. But an experience, you don't feel like you're left behind. You explain, hey, nobody's had this experience. Boy, I went upside down in a canoe for an hour and a half, you know, whatever it is, you know. And they said, which would you choose to be, oh, I can't read this thing. Which would you choose to be paid? Okay, here's a question they gave the experience. What would you rather be? Have a higher salary, but make less than your peers. Okay, higher salary, but you're making less than everybody else. Or a low salary, but making more than everybody else. Most people are not sure. It's 50-50. But nearly everyone would take more vacation time, regardless of how they compared to coworkers. So everybody would want more vacation time, but are confused on whether they want more salary than other people or less salary than other people. Yeah. But make more than other people. Have a low salary, but make more than people, or have a high salary, but make less than other people. They couldn't decide on that, but they could decide, yeah, I want more vacation time. Okay. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. This is a quote, Dr. Seuss, you know, the famous children's author. So don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. The reason for optimism: experiences are over before they grow old, deteriorate, or become obsolete. See, we want to buy stuff and think that's going to make us happy. But experiences, no. They are great, and they never get old, deteriorate, or obsolete. So your so-called experience, most people focus on the good memories. So you have a good time, you know, going to the moon, and you remember that forever. But most people are disappointed in their possessions are still there to remind them of bad. So big purchases like a car bring anxiety about damage, upkeep, and theft. But the sharing economy takes away that worry, and you can focus on the good. Okay, so in other words, you buy something, a big fancy car you always want. Now you have to keep it up. Then it's going to get shitty. It's going to get red, and all this kind of stuff that all the disappointing things of having that possession. But the experience is still the experience. Oh, I had a great time. And that never goes away. Isn't that cool? And that's why now, if you want a car, a fancy car, you rent one for the day. Man, I got that fancy car. I don't have to worry about paying the insurance or anything. And that's the sharing economy. You don't have to own anything to enjoy it. Okay, so the experience, the solution is experience the sharing economy. This is what more and more people are doing. Americans will use the sharing economy. Almost 90 million Americans. That's you know, there's only 330 million, I think. So that's close to half the people are going. In other words, they rent clothes from a place like Runway. So you don't have to buy. I mean, I live in an apartment building, and I see these Runway packages. So these women aren't buying fancy clothes. They're renting it for the weekend. They don't have to worry about anything, you know, cleaning it, keeping it, paying for it or whatever, a fraction of the cost, and they rent it for the weekend. You know, they don't need a fancy car because they use Lyft. That's what I do, man. I go out, open my phone, I got a Lyft, and go somewhere for $5-10, and I don't have to worry about it. Don't do it. Or to go on vacation, you go on Airbnb, a fraction of the cost what you're going to pay in a hotel. Okay, what is the sharing economy? Okay, peer-to-peer platforms that provide access to shared goods. Okay, a vehicle for hire, okay, lodging services, and even scooters. Man, scooters are all over these places. I made a lot of money even with our apartments on that. You can make money by not using your car on Toro. You know, you don't use it a lot of the time. Now, millennials are hip to this. You know, they're not into having stuff. Old people are more into having stuff, us boomers. So there's a higher dislike for boomers. But don't forget, boomers are going away. They're dying off. Yeah. Young people are growing, and so that's where we're growing. Why choose sharing over owning? Millennials come to age during the Great Recession. That's why. Nobody had money when these young people were growing, they didn't have money. Ownership often felt fleeting in a struggling economy. So on-demand access, no burden of ownership, and better for the environment. So why own a vacation property? Just rent somebody else's, trying to make money at it. More than 3 or 5 people see sharing as more sustainable than ownership. What does sustainable mean? That it's better for our general nature of the economy, our general nature of the environment, things like that. If everybody's having a home they only use 2 days a year or whatever, I mean, it's silly. So we could share that kind of thing. Save your lifestyle by sharing. Accommodation, so Airbnb, outdoorsy, things like that. I mean, even people renting their backyards to campers and stuff like that. Storage. Your neighbor could store your stuff in your basement because you're not using it. That's the way to do this. See, if you have stuff, you could make money out of your stuff. Your car sits in the driveway half the night. You could put it on Turo. Or your bike on bikeshare.com. And not bikeshare, there's another one just for bicycles and stuff. But Turo, and people will rent your car when they need it because they only need it a few times. So they might as well use your car. And that's your swimming pool. People renting their swimming pools. How often do you use your swimming pool? Oh, it'd be great to have a swimming pool. After 5 years of that, what the hell? Well, now there's a website you could rent swimming pools on. People want to have a party? Yeah, okay, I'll go out that night. You could use the party. And you make, a couple $100 people using your swimming pool. So that's why if you have assets, you can make money out. Other people rent your clothes. They share with it. Other people rent your car. Other people rent your room, or your backyard even, and things like that. So that's what's happening in the sharing economy. So you're a capitalist. We're all capitalists now. Can make your tools that you don't use. You can share them. Your golf clubs, your bicycles. Talking to a guy who made a couple $100 a month on his bicycles. He had 2 or 3 bicycles he really uses. So people come to town and want a decent bike to use. See, that's what's happening. And that's why for people in Lesko Help, I have a free report about the gig economy. Shows you about all this kind of stuff, how to make money out of this, the sharing economy and the gig economy. It's all in that free report. It shows you dozens, probably hundreds and hundreds, and also a free course on how to make money from the gig economy and the sharing economy. It's not everywhere. It's not perfect. Nothing is perfect. It's an important tool. It's just like a hammer. A hammer is not for everything, but it's an important tool. This is not perfect anything, but it's an important tool. And particularly with wages going nowhere, you saw the average wage in 40 or 50 years went up 10%, and when 14% in 3 years, standard of living went up. So you can't keep up, and this is a way to keep up. I feel. Again, it's not perfect. You would like the job for $200,000 a year. But that ain't going to happen right to most of us. Some of us it will. But even in the meantime, see, that's another thing. You start learning this, because this is only going to grow. It's not going to get smaller. How much it is not going to be 90% of the economy? No. I mean, we still have stores even with the internet. They're getting smaller, right? Fewer and fewer stores with the internet here, people buying there. So that's the growth area. And then when there's growing, there's more opportunity and more fun. And that's the key to life, is having fun, because it's shitty. There's a lot of bad things happen every day. But if you're having fun, it doesn't matter as much. Well, I don't know if you know by now, but I have a service on Facebook. It's a closed group called Lesko Help, where I help people find free money to help to do anything. And one of the two big things I get is money to start a business. Okay, hey, let's go. Where do I get money to start a business or grow a business, or money to become a nonprofit? Or how, so I can get grants to become a nonprofit. And I think both of those are. I don't know. I'm biased, but particularly nonprofit. You shouldn't decide to be a nonprofit just because you're going to get grants. And if you want to be a nonprofit, find out about your market first. Also for business, what you got to do is find the market. Who's going to buy your stuff? What are you going to be a nonprofit for? And then figure out what kind of money you have or whatever. You got to do the marketing. And particularly in nonprofits, you may not even need to be a nonprofit. So why spend all this money that it's going to cost to become a nonprofit when you don't have to, because you don't have to get grants to do it. You could just get customer money to do it or other ways to do it. See? Or even become an LLC. People say, first I'm going to be an LLC. Why? Why spend that money before you even have a customer? And that's the problem. People think about things of spending money first before they think about getting a customer. Whether you're a nonprofit, an LLC, or a business, you're nothing until you have a customer. You're going to spend all this money getting a nonprofit status or being an LLC or running around trying to get a grant for a business. You're not even sure what's the best way to spend it. And then you go look for customers. And that's backwards. You got to look for customers first. Because if you know how to get a customers, then you know exactly what to spend money on. And particularly on a nonprofit, you may not have to be a nonprofit. So much money is out there. You could train kids in the neighborhood and not be a nonprofit. You could just be a person and get money to do that. You can get a contract. And a contract, you don't have to be a nonprofit. You don't have to be an LLC. You don't have to be, Uncle Remus. You just want to have to do the work. It's all about doing the work. That's what it is. And you want to get out there when you're thinking about doing something. You say, how am I going to do this work? What are people doing now? That's what to do. Go volunteer for a nonprofit organization. You want to help the homeless? Go volunteer for a homeless group right now. You could do that and be there in the morning. Start learning what the hell is needed, instead of sitting in our little comfortable, homes or whatever it is and thinking, we know how to solve the problem. And I'll be going to become a nonprofit and solve that problem. And then the world will be so nice to live in. Finally, right? Because they're going to do it your way. That may be wrong. I don't know about you, but I know I'm wrong 90% of the time. I've written 100 books and only 10 made money, And that's why what's so nice now about, I used to write a book, and then I used to sell the book, and then I used to go try to sell it to people. I used to sell it to New York. That was so wrong, because I'd have to pretend I knew what the market wanted. No, I never really knew until the book was done, and I went out and tried to sell it. That's why I worked with publishers, so I didn't have to have the risk of printing 100,000 books, and they're all going to sit in the bookstore when I'm trying to sell them. No, you sell them first, and you can. There's ways to do that. And that's what I do. And Let's Go Help and show you these alternative ways to do anything. And that's right, man. Like going out and becoming a nonprofit before you're even sure you have to be one. That's like getting a prom dress before you're even invited to the prom. So you want to go out and you find a fun market. You volunteer for a community that somewhere that's doing this kind of work now to find out, hey, what is really your niche? And then you look for money. Okay, you don't become a nonprofit, then look for money. You look for money first, because you may not have to be a nonprofit. And then you waste all that time. And that's what life is: time and money. And we all could figure out life given enough time and money. So if you're limited, if you have a lot of money, then fine. Become a nonprofit, do whatever the hell you want. But most people, at least I deal with and come to me for help, they don't have a lot of money. So what are you going to do when you don't have a lot of money? What you do, don't spend any until you know for sure what the hell you're doing and what's going to work. That's what you do. You start looking for customers, even on a, why, who cares? When people buy something from you, they don't, hey, are you an LLC? Are you this? Are you that? Well, how do you know you want to be an LLC? Because some lawyer told you, some accountant told you, some expert who's getting money to tell you stuff to worry about told you. And you don't have a pot to pee in and no customers and everything, and you're worrying about somebody suing you. Man, that's even, to me, that's even not, well, that's sort of immoral away. In other words, you're going to say you're standing behind something. Well, sort of. Now, wait a minute. Don't you stand behind anything? Yeah. So that's, but, you know, that's another discussion. The main thing is success. Yeah, you succeed in what you're doing. And if you're spending money, spending time, wasting money, wasting time, then you're going to fail before you figure out what the hell to do, because life isn't, you know, you figured out the message of, no, life is a scientific experiment. And we're all, you know, crazy scientists in the lab trying this and trying that. Boy, those two things made it blow up. We didn't know that, but we found out. We have black char stuff all over our face. That's what it is. So that's why you got to go out and play with this stuff and see what really works. And oh, hey, people really want that. So your product, you just get a product that sort of works. Doesn't have to be fancy. Nobody cares. Nobody buys perfect. What the hell you're selling? So get out and sort of sell it. Or you don't even need a product. You go on crowdfunding and have a product without a product. So you're collecting money for a product before you even have a product. Now that's great. What America is, man. Now, would you go into like, Bloomingdale's and ask for a sweater and they'll deliver it next year to you? They do that on the internet. It's crazy, man. So you don't have to be an LLC. You don't have to even have stationery, and you become in business. But if you know what you want to do, you want to look for money, and okay, I have a report. Everybody get, all my reports are free for members here. Okay? And so you want one for business, you know, I give it to you free. You want one if you're a nonprofit. These are the 10 best places to get money for any nonprofit. And you don't need a grant writer even for that. Because see, these government agencies that give money to nonprofits, they have courses for you to learn how to fill out the paperwork. That's right. So you take a free course and spending $5 grand or whatever the heck they're going to charge you, to fill out a grant. That's why you think you don't need a grant writer until you see the application that you're going to apply for. Because 95%, like in business, you'll never need a grant writer. You know, nonprofits you may, and see 90, maybe 80, 90% of the free money the government gives out is just a couple pages, fill in the blanks, and that's all it is. So you don't need a grant writer. Those that you do need a grant writer, well, you go to the office, give them the money, and they teach you how to fill it out. They've been courses. Like you want to help people, in the neighborhood, get housing or something like that. Yeah, they do courses at your county government and how to do that. Actually, my senator in the state I live in has free courses to come all day and learn about the government grants. Yeah. So that's why maybe you shouldn't even be paying me. What I do is organize stuff. And that's why I'm trying to do as cheap as possible. I don't want to be the guy charging 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. I used to be. But no, for $20, I want you to find every possible program that you're eligible for in this country and how to apply for it. And it's just, it takes time and effort, and you can't find it in Google. You know why? Because Google gets money from people who give them money. The government agencies and other people who give out free money, they don't pay Google to be on Google. They just put their website on the internet, and then Google does not have any, encouragement to show you those websites when you're searching, because they're not getting money. They'd rather get money from the billion other websites that are giving money every time you click. You click on a government website, they don't get anything. So what are you going to see in your search results? Who's controlling the search results? Not the robots from the government, the robots from Google. So they're determining what you're going to see, right? So why would they show you something you get for free? Well, maybe they have a soft heart now. They do. But you'll never find them. because the other people who are spending money trying to get your attention are spending the money, a lot of money, trying to figure out what you want to see. Yeah. And that's the key too. These people spend so much on marketing. And so you'll grab them before you do any government website because they're pretty goddamn boring. You're not going to bother. And that's the problem. So you'll never know about the free stuff. Yeah, because you can never find them. And so you think to get by in life, you have to have a lot of money and buy one of these things that people are selling on the internet. That is not true. And that's what Lesko Help is about. And let me know if I can help you on Lesko Help. And first of all, don't become a nonprofit before you know what the hell you're going to do and where you're going to get the money. Then you can always spend money. That's easy to do. Don't spend money first and then figure out what to do. No, you figure out what to do, then spend the money if you have to. That's the key to life. Well, if you ask most government bureaucrats about what are the best government grant programs for fixing up a house, they'll tell you about 2 basic programs, when it actually there's about 2,000, but they're all over the government. But these are the 2 national programs that the government has for fix-up. Now, both of these have income requirements, and they may be up to like $50,000 or something. Depends on so many things. And actually, even if you're not, you feel that you're overapplied anyway, because there's certain things that they won't include as part of income or may include. I mean, you don't understand the government. I've been studying it for 40 or 50 years and I still don't understand. What I do understand is you don't get anything if you don't apply. Okay, here's one of them. It's called the LEAP, LIHEAP. It's in every state, every county. It's usually run by a local nonprofit that gets federal money that goes to the state level, then goes to a nonprofit, and they hand it out. Now, if you go, it's part of Health and Human Services. Now, who would have thought? Yeah, and it's really to make yourself your home warm and cool, and a lot of it is to pay for energy bills. So you have trouble paying for utility bills, and that's what the money's for. But it's also if you have an energy crisis. Just think if you're heater went down in the middle of the winter, your air conditioner broke or whatever, or weatherization and energy-related repairs. So you want to fix up your house so you don't spend so much money on energy and you be broke or can't afford your energy bills. So that's what this is. It's called LIHEAP. It's a long word for something or other in the bureaucrat. And there is a state by state. If you Google, low income energy office search tool, you'll go to this page here. And remember, it's all .gov. Don't go to anything else because there'll be contractors trying to sell you stuff. No. You only want .gov. And so here, if you go to low income energy office search tool, and that's part of the LIHEAP, you know what I mean. And you come up with a state-by-state listing for your state, your county, because a lot of it is at the county government. Now, here's the county I live in, Montgomery County, Maryland, and it has the contact information there. And they tell you how to apply, okay? So that's the one, the LAAO, okay, that one, okay. Now, here, the other one is the weatherization program. Now, the weatherization program, again, it's a national program. Now, this is with the Department of Energy, okay? And they put it out. So it's Weatherization Assistance Program, WAP, Department of Energy.gov. Don't go and Google and go to anything.gov. See, the problem, Google won't show you .gov as much. Well, I mean, who knows what they'll say. But there's no motive. See, when you click on a .gov, they don't get any money. They get money from people who pay them. And the people who pay them, every time you click on something, are people who want to get your money because they have to get the money to pay Google, correct? So the Department of Energy, they're not going to pay Google anything. So, And Google will show them if they have to. So that's why it's tough. And it's tough to get through Google to find these kinds of things because nobody's paying to do that. And then down here on this page, so is a state-by-state map. You press on your state and you find the local office. So that's something applying. Now, again, some of these programs are like once a year they come out the money. So if you missed it this year, get on the list, man. Don't wait till next year. Just get it on now. Make sure you get it next year. And that's what it's all about. So even, I mean, unless you're planning not to live next year, but most of us do, and most of us will probably be around for 10 years. I mean, I'm 76. I figure, I'll be around maybe 20 more years. Yeah. So I'm going to apply for every goddamn thing, even if it only comes 10 years from now. Why not? You're going to improve your life then. And that's the important thing, that this stuff is there, whether you use it or not, you know, and don't assume you're eligible or you're not eligible. The only people who can tell you eligible are the people handing out the money. So if anybody else tells you anything about that, don't believe them, because they're probably wrong. We all have these preconceived notions about what the hell the world is. Yeah. And tell you the truth, you find out it's wrong, or maybe right sometimes, but it may be wrong other times. And that's the key in life. You know, everything you thought was wrong is probably right, and everything that was right is probably wrong somewhere. It doesn't work for everybody. So what you do, you have a problem to solve, and what you have to do is go out and find the sources and see, hey, can I get this? And you fill out the forms and find out for sure. Don't trust any middleman, even me, who says, oh, you're not eligible. How the hell did I know? I'm not giving you the money. They are. Okay, people who join Lesko Help, I'm putting together a free report to show you all the grant programs that are available to fix up any house. I mean, there's like 100 or so in any place in the country, okay? And so you got to do research to find them, okay? So, and some sources in the country, you'll find maybe 200, because most of them are at local level, state level, county level, nonprofit organization, all these things you never even thought of. Not number one. There's very few that come from Washington. That's why it takes individual research. And that's why I'm trying to train everybody in America how to do this research. So if you're looking for grants to fix up your home, you know, I have a free report. Every member of Lesko Help, you get this free report on how to find all the grants for home fix-up money where you live, okay? Because there's 200 or more where you live. Well, as part of the Lesko Help, what I did is put together a special report for every state where you could find all the government subsidized programs and nonprofit subsidized programs to get health care for free or for very little cost. And then also dental care and even pet care. But here's something I found today in the New York Times. Look at this title here. A Mexican hospital, an American surgeon, and a check for $5,000. Now, this program is not in my report. This is a private company thing that insurance company does. In other words, if you choose to have your, this lady in the article, she's getting a knee replacement done in Mexico, they give her a $5,000 check. And she stays in Mexico for like a week and a half for recuperation too. I mean, she works in a factory in Wisconsin, and their healthcare coverage, what they found out, they could pay a third of the price for a knee replacement as it would be done in the United States. And what they do here, here's the key, that they send a doctor from the Mayo Clinic trained doctor down there to do it. So they fly down, and the doctor gets like $2,700, and he'd only get like a third of that if he was doing it in the United States. So the doctor's getting more money, and actually the amount of money they pay is like a third, I think, of what it was for, let me see, normally a knee replacement would be $30,000. Here it costs $12,000. Now that's the average $30,000, so it could be up to $50,000. So here in Mexico, it's only $12,000. Now what this company also did was cover extra insurance if you want to sue these people. Because you have an American doctor now, so you get a hold of us by the collar and grab him to court if you really want to. And so they did that, and plus you get an American surgeon, you know. And he gets a nice little vacation too. And then you get a check for $5,000 because they're saving so much money. In other words, if you chose to have it done in the United States, they'd have to pay at least $30,000, maybe $40,000. There, they're only paying 12. So they're saving $20,000, $30,000. So that's why they could give you a check for $5,000. And they're trying to encourage, because there's some stigma that people have, and rightfully so. They should think twice about it. But to me, what it's showing is that, the kinds of things. I mean, I don't know the answer to healthcare. I know, number one, though, I know two things about healthcare. We pay twice as much for healthcare than anybody else in the world, and get worse results. People don't live as long, more deaths, all this kind of stuff. So it doesn't even prove that this is better health, because we're paying twice as much as everybody else. And we still have millions of people that aren't covered. And that's why if you're a member of Lesko Help, I show you where all the existing programs, because there's about a third of the people that are not covered under a private plan somewhere, or are covered by one of these programs, that the government already has set up, but nobody knows about it. See, that's the other thing about Google. If you're looking for healthcare coverage, you're not going to, you go Google, for hip replacement or fill in a cavity for free. You're never going to see the free stuff, because the free stuff doesn't advertise to Google. So if they're not advertising, that means Google decides, the robots at Google decide, right, what you're going to see when you put in a search. And why, they don't have a big motive to put in the links for you to see that if you click on those links, they don't get paid. They want to give you links where they get paid when you click on them, right? So they're the people who advertise on Google, not the people who don't advertise on Google. That's why all these free sources that I'm going to show you don't advertise on Google. That's why they're so hard to find. So that's why what I do is create the one source in America where you could find just websites that give you money. Here's $5,000. They give you money instead of websites that want to take your money. And that's what, I guess capitalism is all about, trying to get money from each other. But there's some things that are too important for that. But more importantly, people are going without the help or the whatever they need because they think it costs them a lot of money. And it doesn't. It just takes a little extra work and knowledge about the system. And that's what I'm trying to do. So if I could help you that way, that's the best way for me to do that is on Lesko Help. It's a closed Facebook group. And it's only $20 a month. I'm like, I'll refund your money. Don't worry about it. I just want to be happy and not be seen as, somebody putting a mask on and a gun to your head and wanting your money. I certainly need money to keep going because otherwise I can't provide any service. So that's the key to money. And it's nice to see the people. That's why I don't want to charge a lot. I want to keep it as little as possible. Everybody's telling me, no, you got to charge $100 and $300, $400, $500, whatever you can get. And that's the basic of capitalism. You charge what you get. I think certain things you don't have to. There's certain how much money do you really need in life? I'll make a living, support myself and family. That's the important thing. And above that, I want to do something I think is of value. That's why I want to help other people find that. And I think you can. There's so many options out there for you to find things to do in life that are needed and get paid to do that. And it's a trial and error. There's no magic, button to press or 7 steps to follow. No, you got to design this yourself through trial and error. But most of all, know about your options so you can start trying them and failing. Because the more you fail, the closer you're going to get. It's simple. But as long as you're not spending a lot of money to do it, then you'll last longer to stay there until you find out what it is. Okay? So $5,000 they give you for having an operation. They're not selling your innards.